Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Timeless Talks. In today's episode, we're going to talk about some bridal tips for you guys. I feel like I have so many, like too many to even count. So this might have to be a series that we do on here. Also, I'm literally just like hanging out in my room, so no judgment here if you're watching the video. But yeah, I'm super excited to get into some tips for you guys. One thing I will say is that I am getting over a sickness right now, and I don't know, I just sound off. Hopefully you guys can't hear it too much. But yeah, I wanted to give you guys some tips from like a photographer's perspective and also a past bride myself. I again just feel like there's so many to list. So we're going to get into that in just a second. Before we do, I have kind of a little bit of a story to talk to you guys about. I did a session at a museum near me recently, and it was so stunning. This is actually one of my favorite locations to shoot engagement sessions at. And we had gotten to the museum. It was beautiful. I actually knew someone that was working there, and we were able to go up to this tower portion, and it was overlooking like the bay. It was just so stunning, so beautiful. But I literally couldn't find my phone. And as a mom, I'm like, okay, I need to have my phone like on me 24/7 because I have a baby at home, something could go wrong. Like I have to have my phone. And I'm like trying to soak up the moment up on this tower that like not a lot of people get access to, but I'm just like so nervous about my phone. And it's not like I could like go downstairs and grab it if I find it and bring it back up. Like this tower, like if you have access to it, you use that access like once and then you go down. Like you can't go back and forth. Plus going up and down those steps is literally a workout in and of itself. So I was just like so frantic looking for my phone, but I was also trying to soak up the moment and give this couple like some space. It was just such a beautiful day and beautiful location. But then we like made our way down, and like down the stairs, and I was looking for my phone and finally found it on the golf cart. So I knew it was there, but I was also just like, I don't know, you can't like go down and come back up. So I don't know. I was trying to soak up the moment up there, but I was also really nervous. So that was my little weekend mishap, I guess. But yeah, I feel like I don't know. There's so many like things that happen at my sessions that I just have to like chat about. So yeah, that was interesting. I just did some spring minis today. And I did some yesterday too, so I have those coming out. Super excited. I love just honoring mamas and doing some like family sessions. So it was a lot of fun. I actually did my own too. But yeah, I also really, really wish that I had some more photographer friends. So I'm taking applications, guys. Feel free to shoot me a DM on Instagram, or if you already have my number and you're a photographer, like, let's be friends. We got this. So, before we jump in, I do want to say that I am super booked this next month, which I'm super excited for. I have a lot of weddings coming up. I'm also second shooting next weekend. So that's something I am looking forward to. But I just want to say how grateful I am for all of my clients and just everyone that makes it happen. I'm so appreciative. Okay. I feel like that was a lot to uncover. But let's jump in to some bridal tips. Before we do, actually, I should probably take a drink of water. I'm like parched. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so let's start with like pre-wedding tips, I feel. And then we can kind of like jump into wedding day tips too. But okay, so pre-wedding tips, you're engaged and planning your wedding. Oh my goodness. Planning a wedding is so much work. Even if you hire a planner or coordinator, like you are doing a lot. So, okay. The first one I have is to book your vendors early. don't wait. So if you like have an idea of when your wedding is going to be, book your vendors as soon as possible to make sure that you have a spot, especially if there's like vendors that you've been looking at for a while, like before getting engaged. If you're anything like me, you were probably like looking at stuff before you even got engaged. So if you have vendors that you know you want to work with, like reach out and book them ASAP. I plan on doing an entire episode on this actually, to like dive into like when you should book your vendors and why and how important it is to like get going on it. So I'm going to do an episode on that eventually, but for now, let's get back to the tips. So it's super important. Book your vendors early. Okay. So the next thing is, this is something that I wish I did as a bride, a previous bride. I really wish that I created a wedding email. So you can make it like your last names or, you know, your first names, whatever. Just as long as you have an email that you're using to reach out to your vendors, so you have everything in one place instead of like going back and forth to your regular email and, you know, like making your own email be completely full of wedding stuff. It's just so nice to have like a separate area where you can go to look for all of your wedding vendors and everything. And to communicate, it's so much easier to do that as well. So I really wish I would have done that as a past bride. Okay, and the next one is to book your engagement session early as well, so that you have enough time to use those photos for your save the dates. A lot of people, I've actually learned this as a photographer, is that a lot of people book their engagement session and they don't realize that the engagement session is usually for save the dates and invites. Before I got into wedding photography and when I was a bride, I didn't know that that's what you did with engagement photos. I just thought you go take like engagement photos. So that's something I have learned. So book your engagement session early so that you have time to send out your save the dates and invites with those photos specifically. All right. So the next thing is, this is actually, okay, I, again, really wish I did this as a bride. This is super interesting to me. For your engagement session with your photographer, I think it is so cool if you reach out to your hair and makeup artists and schedule a trial the day that you do your engagement session. It's literally, this is like mind-blowing to me. Wish I would have done this. But like having the trifecta, you have your photographer, you have your hair and makeup done, and your hair done and your makeup done. So I just think that is such a perfect way to like show up to your engagement photos and try your hair and try your makeup. Like so perfect. And if your makeup artist, like if you're doing your makeup that day and you don't like the way it looks, you can tell them like, oh, can you do this? Like I'm doing my engagement photos. So it just all kind of works out. I love that. I really wish that I did that for my engagement photos. So yeah, that's something you can do. And also at your engagement session, your photographer should provide you like an outfit guide and location guide and everything. But like, it's okay these days to wear florals. Like you can wear white or florals or just whatever is comfortable for you. But I think that wearing florals is like, that's something like you can do. Do it. Okay. Okay, this one is super, super important, guys. Super important. Hire the wedding planner or coordinator. Just do it. Save it yourself. I know, okay, and I keep referring back to my wedding, but it is so true. Book the coordinator or wedding planner. Like it takes so much pressure off of you as a bride, and it makes your day run so much smoother. I really struggle with like booking clients who don't have coordinators or planners because it's just like, it's too much. It falls on the photographer, and we are one person. We can't focus on photography while focusing on how your day unfolds. and making sure that people are like not, bothering you guys on your day. So I just think it's super important to have that planner or coordinator so they can make sure your day just runs so smooth. And even if there are hiccups, like they got you. They're going to take care of you. So I can't stress it enough, like how important it is to hire a wedding planner. And the next thing is to choose a venue that reflects who you are, you and your fiance, who you guys are. And choose something that also, will photograph well. If pictures are important to you, choose a venue that photographs well. There's other things we can't control, like lighting and everything. So just choose something that you're going to love in your photos, and you're not going to look back and go, ew, that grass is really brown and I didn't like that. Or I thought this was going to be a field and it's not. Or like if you're wanting a venue that's near the beach and has water in the background and you don't want, greenery, then choose a venue that has that. So it's super important that you're kind of like looking at that stuff so you don't like go back to your photographer like, dang, I really wish I saw or I had, greenery, but the grass is literally dead, if that makes sense. So just choose a venue that reflects who you are and choose something that will photograph well. And I feel like that something that kind of goes along the lines of this, sorry, I'm taking another sip of water. I am literally so thirsty. Okay, sorry, that was more like a gulp. But anyway, so, I totally forgot where I was at. Okay. Oh, another thing that's along the lines is, having a rain plan. So we're in Florida. It is so important to have a rain plan for your wedding day. Whether it's, braving the rain and having clearing umbrellas for your guests, or having an alternative ceremony location like indoors if your venue offers that. It is just so important to have a backup plan, have a rain plan. But just always remember that, Florida has torrential downpours. So you might not get that light, notebook kind of rain. You might get torrential downpours. So again, always have that backup option. Okay. And then next is decide before your wedding day. Decide what photos are most important to you and have your shot list ready to go. So if you have photos that you're like, okay, I need to make sure I spend more time on bridal portraits, make sure your timeline calls for that. And also, not only bridal portraits, but family portraits. If you have a huge family, make sure your timeline calls for that as well. And it's in there set in stone, like how much time you have for your family photos. And also preparing that shot list, your photographer should reach out to you to ask you for like special names and groupings and of everybody that you want family photos with. And just make sure you allot time for this in your timeline. That is so important. So yeah, and make sure like you have the inspiration and everything ready to go before your wedding day so your photographer can go over it with you and kind of make sure everything goes smoothly in the photography timeline and everything. Okay. All right. So let's see. Okay. Here's a few more for the pre-wedding, I guess. Before your wedding, don't forget to decide if you're going to be doing a first look or not. Yeah, definitely know that before you go into your wedding day. I feel like this is like something that you just have to decide you and your partner have to decide together. Do you want to see each other before you walk down the aisle, or do you want it to be an aisle moment? Something you guys got to figure out. So definitely decide that before your wedding day. And also, here's another one, decide if you want like sunset portraits as well, and know what time sunset is going to be on your wedding day. That's a big one that a lot of us forget about. I mean, as photographers, we kind of like, we always look at that, but make sure if your photographer doesn't talk to you about it, to know when your sunset is going to be on your wedding day. Okay. All right. So, oh my gosh, I have one more with the pre-wedding. When you're picking out your wedding dress, one thing you should know, this is something I've learned as a photographer, like taking lots of pictures of brides in their wedding dress. Just know, if you decide to go strapless, please know, or at least have, something ready for this. Your dress is not going to stay up very well. No matter how much alterations they did, your dress is going to fall, and you're going to be picking it up constantly, making sure that it's, constantly not falling down. So maybe have an alternative for that, or talk to your what are they even called? Alterer? Why can't a seamstress? Oh my God. I'm wait, what am I even saying? So talk to them about this, that your strapless dress might be falling and stuff, and they can kind of give you options. So just know that. That's something to note. Not really a tip, but something to note, that if you do go strapless, it's probably going to be, falling. And also veils, they get stuck a lot in the grass and catch, and just, yeah. So make note of that, when you're looking for your dresses, I guess. So that's just a tip. Okay. Now, for some tips for the big day of, these are going to be super important. First and foremost, you should be staying very hydrated, and make sure you eat snacks throughout the day. Eat meals, first of all, but also have some snacks ready so that you can, have your blood sugar up and everything. Don't lock your knees at the altar. That's another one. But I can't stress enough how important it is to eat on your wedding day. I feel like the nerves kind of make you not want to eat, and you get nervous and nauseous, but it's just really important to make sure you're eating. I don't know, maybe it's just me, because I had such bad anxiety on my wedding day. I was just so nervous. I couldn't eat. I was shaking, but I was trying to stay as hydrated as possible. So I don't know, super important to do that. Okay. Next is while you're walking down the aisle, make sure you're holding your bouquet at your belly button. I feel like this is one that a lot of us forget, but it is important. Hold at your belly button so you're not sniffing your flowers while you're walking down the aisle, and don't hold it off to the side. Just keep it very elegant at the belly button. Look forward at your partner. That is the most important thing. Yeah, and I've also been seeing a lot of the bridal baskets. So if you have a basket, maybe you can hold it at the side. That'd be so interesting to see. I actually haven't seen that yet, but I feel that'd be really interesting. So yeah. Also, while you're walking down the aisle, walk slowly. I cannot stress this enough. Even for bridal party, walk slow down the aisle, please. It helps the photographers have time to capture every moment, make sure you guys are in focus and everything. I've seen a lot where people rush down the aisle, and I've seen a lot where they're really slow, but just walk at a very normal pace. And don't forget, again, look at your partner, not the camera. I'm not here. Okay, I'm literally a fly on the wall. This is your moment, not mine. Okay. And okay. I only have a few more left, actually. These are just a few things, some very small details to think about on your wedding day. Make sure that your getting ready space is clean when the photographer comes. So as a photographer, we are there for getting ready. Oh my God, I am so sorry if you hear my dog being crazy right now. We're there for getting ready occasionally, where you guys are still getting hair and makeup done. We try to get there at the end of that so that we can get details done and everything, but just make sure if you are doing getting ready photos with your girls in PJs and everything, make sure that the space is clean, so that the photographer isn't like having to move stuff around or making sure that like, you know, we have to Photoshop stuff out. So yeah, make your space clean. And also like one thing to note is that it would be super cute if you have like a cute little hanger for your dress, because that is something we do with details, is we take pictures of your dress. So if you have like a cute little hanger that says bride or Mrs. whatever last name if you're taking, or Mr. Yeah, that's super cute. Also, my dog is literally being so annoying, so I am so sorry if you hear him. Yeah, so the last one is to stay super present during your wedding day. This day is about you two getting married. It's not about getting pictures taken, but just stay present in the moment. And, you know, like, it's so beautiful. This is your wedding day. Make it your day. Try not to, you know, worry, especially if you have a wedding planner or coordinator. They'll help you take the stress off, just saying. But either way, this is your day, and try to stay stress-free, be in the moment, and your photographer is going to be there to capture every moment possible. So yeah, that is it for the bridal tips that I have for this episode. We're definitely going to be doing a part 2 because I have so many more tips to talk about. So we'll be doing a part 2 or a series with this, but thank you for listening. I will see you guys in the next episode. If you are on Spotify, you can go ahead and give it a follow, or any platform really, YouTube, whatever. Subscribe, follow, and yeah, I will see you in the next episode.